What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of NBA to the Galaxy podcast featuring your host, my man to the right of me, Slim. You can find him on X at RTR30111 and myself, Scotty. You can find me on X at Scotty Drowned. As far as the podcast, if you're not already following NBA to the Galaxy pod on X, on TikTok, you can find it at To the Galaxy Pod. That's on X and on TikTok. The main thing here, of course, as we always say on every show, help us out. Head over to the YouTube channel. That is the most important place for you to go and subscribe and follow us. That is where we want to grow. That's where we want to grow our community. That's where we want to get you involved in the comments. So definitely keep that in mind. With all that being said, that was a mouthful. My man Slim, we here for another discussion around the NBA Conference Finals. The Western Conference Finals were wrapped up last night. The Eastern Conference Finals could be wrapped up as soon as tonight, maybe over the weekend. We're going to find out as time moves on. But how you feeling on this fine Thursday? Thursday it is.
Feeling good, man. It's getting closer and closer to the NBA Finals, like you just said. So
yes, sir.
I'm doing good, man. Can't complain. Been enjoying watching these games. It's been very fun and competitive. So yeah, I'm doing good, man.
It's a scary time too, man, because you get to the conference finals, the games they've been every other night. They've still given us a game every night. Now, conference final, the Western Conference is done. We're not having a game tomorrow.
Yeah.
The Knicks lose tonight. We're not having a game on Sunday. We're not having a game until next Thursday.
Right.
If the Knicks lose tonight. So I'll tell you right now, bro, we're not going to get into this game right now, but I want the Knicks to win tonight because I just want more basketball, dog.
No, man. Indiana got to go and take care of business, bro.
For the predictions, right?
Yeah.
I feel you.
And on top of that, they got a tough task ahead of them in the OKC. So
that's a very fair point. That's a very fair point. We will definitely talk about that a little bit later in the show, man. But I do want to start.
I feel you, though.
More basketball, right? It's dwindling down. That's the sad part, ultimately, man, is that we're not even going to have it every other night. We'll be lucky if it's on every other night, right? Every other 2 nights. But nonetheless, let's talk about last night's matchup to wrap up that Western Conference Finals series, and then we can move into like the more overarching landscape of this series. What's next for Minnesota? What's next for OKC, which is the bigger question, right? Mm-hmm. Last night, blowout, obviously dominating performance from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Were you more impressed by the Thunder last night in a closeout game at home, or were you more disappointed by the Minnesota Timberwolves with their backs on the wall, trying to play for more basketball, and they just come out and lay an egg like that?
I would have to say I was more impressed with the Oklahoma City Thunder just closing this game out in great fashion the way they did. Because you talk about this all the time, bro. Closeout games are just some of the most hardest games to be a part of. Some of those teams, they just can't get it done. They just can't get over that hump to close games out. So I have to give OKC a lot of credit just for going out there and getting it done. It's just not like on the day, it's how they did it. Like they went out there and they set the tone, like from the first quarter to the end. Like they was locked in on both sides. Because the fact of the matter is, you brought this to my attention a while back, is like in a scenario like this, you up 3-1, some teams will probably let up. Like they'll just think like, oh man, we can win this another time. But Oklahoma City, they just went out there and got it done. So I would have to say I was more impressed for them to just go out there and handle their business. So
yeah, I think that's a great point to start with there, man. OKC, one, the fact that you can go out and dominate a team like Minnesota like that, it's impressive in itself on any given night, but you do it in a closeout game, it's especially impressive. I think what was mind-blowing watching this series, especially after you watch Denver play OKC so tough to a game 7, is the defense OKC plays. Like, obviously, SGA is incredible. He's the best player in the league right now, right? Like, there's no arguing it, really. Their defense is on a whole nother level. That's what worries me for any team kind of moving forward, is like the way they were able to frustrate Anthony Edwards was something that I've quite honestly never seen before. Like, yes, the T-Wolves struggled a little bit with the Mavs last postseason in the Western Conference Finals, but Ant Edwards didn't struggle like that. Like, he was having trouble in
Absolutely
pretty much every game but one. Am I tripping by saying that? I think he had the one big game in their W.
Yeah, that was game 3.
Maybe another big game. Maybe. But, yeah, I think the defense overall was just super impressive from OKC, and it showed up once again last night. They're a frustrating team to play against. They fly around. They got multiple rim protectors. They got multiple guys that can pick your pocket, energy guys off the bench. That's the scary part. They could be off. They could be having a bad shooting night, not hitting 3-point shots, and they can still beat you by double digits. I think that was the crazy part last night is they were up by 20, 25 points at one point and had only hit maybe 4 to 5 3-pointers total in the game. And they were in like the third quarter and they're up by 20 plus points. Like, how do you do that? It's with defense. Like, that's how. Like, it's with defense and attacking the rim.
Yeah, in an offensive-oriented league, like, their defense showed up and showed out. So,
yeah. No, I definitely feel you there. So, last night, let's move on from last night because there's not too much in that game aside from overarching narratives from the entire series. When you look back on this Minnesota OKC series, it only goes 5 games, so obviously it was a bit disappointing for a conference final. But you had some blowouts mixed in there. What did you think was the biggest issue for Minnesota in this series?
It kind of ties into one. I would have to say, number one, turnovers, but then also the lack of adjustments. Like, I felt like they could have put up a better fight if they had just made the right adjustments. I didn't really in game 3 when they won at home. That's when you seen the adjustments.
Yeah,
and it's like the 2 games after that, they kind of went away from there. It's like they went back to switching on defense. That was just a bad idea. But yeah, that's why I say the adjustments, the opposite of turnovers. I mean, last night speaks for itself. The Minnesota Timberwolves had more turnovers at the half than they had made field goals. Yeah. Let that sink in. And in the era that we play in today, it's just not going to cut it, bro. 14 points off of 14 turnovers in the first half for OKC. Overall, 18 points off of 21 turnovers from the Minnesota Timberwolves. To your point, as great as this team is defensively, bro, you can't just turn over the ball like that because they're going to make you pay like that. This is a team that likes to get out and transition and, get to the rim and things like that. So, yeah, man, it was the turnovers for me, bro, and just the lack of adjustments.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I think it's what haunted the T-Wolves all series. I think when you look back on Julius Randle's performance in this series, yeah, he's got the Ja jersey on. Repping Memphis. I respect it.
Repping Ja. I ain't repping Memphis now. Repping Ja.
Repping Ja. Yeah, repping Ja. I got you. We got Timothy checking in with the Go Knicks. Interesting. She said Game 7 at the Garden's going to be lit. We'll talk about that in a little bit here for sure. But no, I do agree with you on turnovers because when you look back on this series, you look back on Julius Randle's performance, his stats were okay until you get to the turnover column where he was averaging 3 to 4 turnovers per game, which is just not something that can happen from one of your top 2 players on the roster, man. But the other thing that caught my eye, man, Caruso. What, this dude just be flying around, and mind you, the commentators, they do glaze him up during the broadcast, and rightfully so, because he's everywhere. It's actually crazy, and, you're watching him go on this run with OKC, and it just reminds me of the bubble with the Lakers, man, where he just fit seamlessly with that Lakers team that won the championship. Now, I know it gets discounted, it's the bubble, but nonetheless, there was a lot of talk about Alex Caruso during his time in Chicago, and there was a lot of teams that were bidding to get him from the Chicago Bulls ultimately because they knew what type of role player he could be rather than a main player on a team, right? The role player that he could be for a roster. And somehow, man, OKC just lucks out. I don't even know that you can call it luck at this point with Sam Presti because he's dominated the league when you look back from a roster building standpoint over the last, 5 years to 6 years, whatever you want to call it, and what they've built now. And then the little things like Isaiah Hartenstein, who fits seamlessly, Alex Caruso, who fits seamlessly. These are vets that he's now added to the roster, and it just feels like OKC can't press like a wrong button.
No. And that's the scary thing with that is that they only going to get better. Like, they got all these draft picks moving forward, and it's not a ton of cap space, but they still got some cap space to go out there and make a move if they want to. So, yeah, man, you're absolutely right about Caruso, bro. There was so many people that was upset when he got extended by OKC. Like, that they was just making, like, a wrong move doing. I said, no, bro. Like, a player like Caruso, you see his value in the postseason. Like, just imagine going up against him and Lou Dort on the perimeter. That's just a nightmare. So,
and then J-Dub too. J-Dub sneaking around from behind, just stripping everybody. Like, they fly around, man. They play very synchronized. They got great chemistry, and it's funny. You know, we talked about Giannis. I think it was before the postseason we had like just glazed over Giannis potentially. The package OKC could put together, it would be very enticing for a team like Milwaukee, right? But it's like, man, when you look at this team play, I wouldn't want to break it up at all. I wouldn't want to break it up at all.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. I'm paying these guys what they want. I'm doing whatever I can to keep all of these guys around for the next 5-ish years at least. Yeah. And this is something. Go ahead.
You can see the togetherness of them though. Like, they hang out, you know, they do the post-game interview stuff. So they really got like love for one another. They brothers. Yeah. So,
no, I do agree, man. So I was gonna dive into this a little bit later. We could dive into this before Minnesota. When you look at this Oklahoma City core, since we're on the topic here, I'm gonna read off these ages to you. Mm-hmm. MVP SGA, 26 years old.
Yeah.
J-Dub, 24 years old. Chet, 23 years old. Hartenstein, 27 years old. Dort, 26 years old. Cason Wallace, 21 years old. Isaiah Joe, 25 years old. Wiggins, 26 years old. Some of those guys, you can count them as the core or not, whatever. They're just role players. They're just bench players, maybe even bottom of the bench guys. But these are all guys that I look at right now at this age as guys that can grow into something better, like even better than what they are right now. They can get smarter. What do you see when you look at this OKC roster now, knowing that they're going to the NBA Finals?
I see a team that hasn't even reached their ceiling yet. That's what I see. Like, for those guys, like most of those guys are under the age of 24. Yeah. And that says a lot. Like, you look at a guy like J-Dub, like the season he just had, made the All-Star team, and his ceiling is just so high. Yeah. It's really scary for the league, if I'm being honest with you.
That's where I'm at. Scary.
And like, Caruso is like the oldest player on that team, right? I want to say.
Yeah, I want to say he's in his
like 32.
Early 30s.
Yeah, early 30s. Maybe. And that says a lot as well. But no, man, like, that's just a scary sight for the rest of the league. Like, these guys are just going to, as the years go by, they're just going to keep getting better and better, putting their work in the offseason. And a guy like SGA is going to make sure of that. You know, those guys are going to follow his lead. So, Cason Wallace, Isaiah Joe, I could definitely see those guys getting better, getting more minutes as time progresses. Chet, I feel like he has another level to get to, you know, being like an all-star caliber player.
Yeah.
Isaiah Hartenstein, to me, has kind of reached his peak, I say, and that's fine. Fair. He's an elite. He's a star in his role. He knows what he does for the team. Yeah. So, and SGA, to me, he could potentially reach another gear, but he may have reached his ceiling. But that's still, you know, that's good. Yeah, that's, you know, so that's not a bad thing. So, but no, man, it's scary for the rest of the league. It really is, bro.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I think scary is the right word. I think dynasty is another word that just comes to mind. If they can win their first one, we'll see what they do next year. The crazy thing is, man, I was thinking about this earlier, and obviously the Sixers, glad they get to keep their pick. They end up getting a third pick. But just think, before draft lottery night, there was a chance that the Thunder could have gotten a top 10, a top 7 draft pick in this upcoming draft.
Yeah, you telling me that, yeah.
That's crazy. Like, they mess around and end up with Con Knipple or Derek Queen one of these young studs that are coming in this draft, man. It's just crazy what they've been able to do as a front office. But
and how did you bring that up? Isn't
yeah,
it crazy that most of us probably forget that OKC drafted Topic last year?
yo,
What
I
he's
know,
gonna,
yeah, I forgot.
what he's going to look like when he's healthy.
Oh my goodness, man, that's just another young mystery. But at this point, with OKC, you just have to expect they're going to be able to contribute at least.
Mm-hmm.
Like any young player that they bring in and develop, they're going to be able to contribute at least. So it'll be interesting moving forward for OKC. We got to see them finish the job. Obviously, we got to see who their opponent's going to be in the NBA Finals. SGA, real quick. I know we just talked about him, MVP. Maybe reached the ceiling, maybe not. MVP of the regular season, Western Conference Finals MVP. Goes through this series, averages 30 points per game. He averages, 6 assists per game, 6 rebounds, something like that. The shooting percentages were right. He's caught a lot of hate this postseason, man.
Yes.
Where are you at with SGA? Where does he fit into the grand scheme of the NBA? Is he your bona fide face of the league? Where is SGA with you right now?
Yeah, he's for sure the face of the NBA in my opinion. He just kind of fits that mold. Just a calm dude,
Yeah.
don't really do a lot of things off the court. Pretty much all about his business. He has that level of professionalism in him, off and on the court. So in saying that, I would definitely say the face of the NBA. I mean, he just goes about his business the right way. Like to your point, he has caught a lot of heat, with the foul baiting stuff, this, that, and the other. But I mean, at the end of the day, it isn't much you can kind of just do about that. Like, it isn't like he's just a cocky, arrogant type of dude.
Right.
Although that can be kind of irritating to see because it's not just pure ethical hoops. But at the end of the day, the way the league is just transitioning over is like that has become a part of the game. You can thank guys like James Harden, Trae Young for that. To be more exact, probably James Harden does so. But yeah, man, like SGA, I would consider him the face of the NBA MVP. And yeah, he's only going to continue to get better. So that's what I made with SGA, man. He's one of the ones for sure. Despite all the hate, he's up there. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it just comes with the territory is what I'm starting to realize. Like if you're dominant, if your team's dominant, you're going to get hated on by pretty much everybody outside of your
That's a
fan
fact.
base, right? And that's just what comes with the territory. But yeah, I agree. I think even last night when you watch that game, like SGA wasn't getting all the calls that they say he gets last night. They were playing him pretty physical last night. And what he showed me is that when he doesn't get the calls, he's not one of these guys that's going to go over the top about it either. So
Right.
it's not that he's playing and he's expecting the call. Because I watched last night, man, there was a couple calls that were not called. He got a couple and ones that were not called. And he finishes through contact. He's a lot stronger than what he looks for his body frame. And I think the biggest thing, man, is a mentality. I think that's what it comes down to. Like, you can have the most talented players in the world, but if they don't have what it takes to be a good leader, to be a winner, then it just doesn't matter. And I think at this point, we see SGA is a winner. He's a winning basketball player, and he's going to do what it takes to get the job done. Let's take it in another direction, man, because there's the other side of this thing where you can definitely raise some questions on what the T-Wolves have done the last few seasons, despite them making back-to-back Western Conference Finals. Like, despite them doing it back-to-back, there are still some big-ass question marks with this roster, with this team. I want to ask you, bro, what would you do to fix the Minnesota Timberwolves? And I say fix as in get them to the next level, to the NBA Finals, the best in the West. What would you do to fix them?
Well, I know this guy, he receives a lot of heat, and rightfully so. But I got to say, Rudy Gobert, man, I would trade Rudy. Rudy Gobert this past postseason averaged 8 points, 8.6 rebounds, and 1.2 blocks. In this series against OKC, he averaged 5.8 points, 6.6 rebounds, and 1 block. What I'm about to say kind of says a lot. I know Rudy not more so like an offensive-oriented type of player.
Yeah.
But even defensively, he was a liability. Like, Rudy Gobert had more fouls in that series than he did block shots. I allowed it to sink in. That
Yeah.
is just not going to cut it. Mind you, this is the guy who has the highest salary on the Minnesota Timberwolves team with $43 million. Second highest at the was 42 million.
Yeah.
And also to throw in that he just got a 3-year extension for $110 million. That is just
Mind
crazy
blown.
to me. And also, may I remind you, last West Conference Finals against the Dallas Mavericks, he was getting targeted by everybody.
Yep.
I'm going to say
Played
this,
off the court.
man. When you have a guy like Jaden Hardy cooking Rudy Gobert, that says a lot. Like everybody was just looking to cook this dude, and it was kind of the same way in this series. He was just unplayable
Yeah.
to an extent. But to me, I would start out by trading Rudy because he was just not good in this series. He was probably solid, but overall not good in this series. But
Yeah. No, I
moving
agree.
on, man. Julius Randle, plus minuses don't lie. Despite Julius averaging 17 points and nearly shooting 50% from the field, he was pretty much a negative factor on the court throughout the whole series. Game 1, minus 17. Game 2, minus 15. Game 3, plus 38. That was the only game they won. Game 4,
Which
minus
they
2.
blew them out, so that doesn't really
Right.
count for
Game
him.
4, minus 2. Game 5, minus 20. A negative 28 on the floor. On the floor. And that's just not good, man. Like Julius, he has been pretty good throughout this whole playoffs. Don't get it wrong, but in a scenario like that, that kind of lets you know that what he's doing on the court is not translating to winning. Like
Yeah.
he's getting heals, don't get me wrong, but it's not translating to anything. He was
Yeah.
a negative overall on the court throughout the whole series. So
Yeah.
they're gonna have to figure that out. And lastly, man, my advice to Anthony Edwards is to learn how to pick and choose his shots better and find his spots. Me and you talked about this between him and SGA. That's what SGA kind of got him beat at. Like we know SGA
Yeah.
can get to his spots, and regardless of who's defending him, he can get there. So
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards should probably like hit up LeBron because LeBron he's been dealing with double teams for over 20 some years, and he knows how to break
Yeah.
it down. So you allude to this like OKC defense on Anthony Edwards, like them constantly blitzing him. He was struggling against that.
Yeah.
So if he can kind of work on that this offseason, then that'll do wonders for this team. But nonetheless, trading Rudy, that has to be the number one priority.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I have 3 things written down here. One of the first ones is solve the Rudy Gobert issue, and I have 2 options here, man. You can definitely trade him. That's the first and the primary option. Get him out of town.
Yeah.
I just worry you gave him the 3-year extension. Who is taking that on? Like, who is taking this man on their team? Because it ain't gonna be me, bro. But I do feel you. I think it's just a clunky fit. I think getting rid of Rudy Gobert could maybe fix like Julius Randle and Ant's like combo duo on court. Maybe it could make the numbers in the fit a little bit better, more spacing, a better rim protector because Randle is obviously not a paint protecting type of power forward.
Right.
The other option, man, to kind of maybe make an attempt at solving the Rudy Gobert issue is preparing in a deeper fashion for when you ultimately have to sit him in the postseason, because that's what happens every postseason. He gets, to your point, attacked aggressively, and he ends up on the bench because he's a mismatch and not in the good way. My suggestion here, if you cannot move Rudy Gobert, man, just consider moving Naz Reid for a better backup rim protecting big that can come on the floor, maybe be a little bit more athletic. But this is ultimately the suggestion is to supplement Rudy Gobert and the impact, whether negative or balance, that you see him making to this team, make it a little bit better. And that's just complementing him with somebody that can directly replace him in the lineup come postseason. Naz Reid, I think, is a solid player. I think he's a solid 6 man, but he's a very unique type of skill set. He hovers around the 3-point line a lot. He's just it's not a Rudy Gobert replacement. The other thing, I think this, to your point about Ant Edwards getting double teamed and him picking his spots better, I do agree there. I think the other way you can help him out and solve that is getting a true point guard in this lineup, in the starting lineup, another ball handler, not Michael Conley, with all due respect. But this guy was bricking wide open 3-pointers all series. It's just not acceptable. Missing floaters. Get a guy in there that can handle the ball, run the offense, and help Ant get open. At the end of the day, Ant is a shooting guard. He shouldn't have to bring the ball up every single time, like he's a point guard. It's not his role. Like he should be a shooting guard, a wing. And he's being forced into these responsibilities that, yes, he can handle them sometimes, but he shouldn't really have to. He shouldn't have to do that much. I do agree with you, though. I think he needs to pick his shots better. I think it could come with a better surrounding cast, though. And then finally, man, the third one, it kind of feeds into all of this. Youth. You had Rob Dillingham on the bench, and you didn't even get to see what he looks like in the postseason, right? You got Shannon Jr. on the bench. He gave you a little bit of a spark towards the end of the series. Absolutely. Just was not ready at all to be a big part of this series because he had not played all season. So they need to invest in some of their younger guys next regular season, get them prepared so that they're ready for their role in the postseason. And I think when you talk about Rob Dillingham, he could be your answer at point guard. He could be.
Potentially, yeah.
He could be. But either way, I think you need to address that position. And the T-Wolves will end up in a better place. And I think to our points that we both made here in this segment, they've made back-to-back Western Conference Finals with these ugly-ass fits. The Cat fit was a little bit better. It was.
Yeah, it was.
The Randall and Gobert, I mean, they made it work. They got the Western Conference Finals, but it's not pretty. It's not pretty basketball. They were good defensively, but I don't know, man. I think those are the angles that they can go to ultimately fix this team, man. You got anything else on the T-Wolves before we move on to this Eastern Conference matchup, my man?
No, that's pretty much it, man. Those guys are done for. We'll see what they do in the offseason, so that's pretty much it.
It's going to be hard for them, man. It's going to be hard because that Gobert contract, if they are able to get off of it, they're going to have to pay something extra on top of it.
Yeah, they're going to have to attach some pieces, maybe even some picks. So.
Yeah.
Unless the Phoenix Suns want to do like a Bradley Beal swap or something, I don't know, man. That's pretty much.
They would be the ones. They would be the ones.
Yeah.
All right, man. So we got the Knicks hosting the Indiana Pacers tonight. I mentioned it earlier. I'm hoping the Knicks win this game just to extend the series, give us more basketball. But coming into this game, Knicks obviously down 3-1. They're 4.5-point favorites at home for this matchup. You look at the last game, Tuesday, they lost 130 to 121 in Game 4 in Indiana. Tyrese Haliburton has a triple-double. This dude is hooping. What have you seen in this series so far coming into this game tonight? What have the Knicks been doing wrong? Have they been doing anything wrong, or are the Pacers just a better team?
Yes, they have been doing a lot of things wrong. You allude to this, bro. You can't, like, when you facing a team like this in the Indiana Pacers, bro, you can't allow them to constantly be scoring 100, 120, like they did last game, 130, bro. That's just a recipe for disaster, bro. Like, with all due respect, this New York Knicks team is not built to compete with a team in terms of doing that offensively. Like, defensively, they can match up with them. But offensively, bro, like, you're going to get beat every time because they just have too many weapons over there. So that's the start right there. That's what they're doing wrong. They're just allowing them to kind of have their way. And it's like, if it ain't, it's one, like game one, Neesmith, he had his game. Game two was a Pascal Siakam. He had a playoff career high. And, you know, you kind of get what I'm saying. Like, other guys are having games. Last game, Benedict Madden, he had 20. So, like, when you letting guys like that constantly get off, it's just a recipe for disaster. So, that's the first thing I said they're doing wrong. And then, two, defensively, bro. I mean, you talk about this. Like, Cat and Brunson, the fact that your best two players are, like, you can't have them on deep defense. It just says a lot. Like, you have to, like, sub them out for, like, crucial defensive parts of the game. It just says a lot right there.
Yeah.
So, that's what they're doing wrong, man. So, yeah, but coming to this game, man, like, man, it's a lot at stake here for sure. Like, you look at last game, like Haliburton, bro, what a performance that was. 32 points. What was it? 15 assists, 12 rebounds, and 0 turnovers, bro. That is so impressive.
See, I didn't even see that part of the stat line.
Like,
yeah,
zero turnovers, bro. That is just so impressive, man. So, commend him for leading the way. He was definitely aggressive in this game. He shot the ball 23 times.
He was. Yeah.
Like, even like pull up middies and stuff we really don't see. He was aggressive for sure. So,
because that was an important game. That was a game where the Knicks can ultimately get back in the series. They got a huge win in Game 3 in Indiana, a comeback victory. Cat scores 20 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, he was cooking.
They picked up some momentum in that game 3, and the Pacers were able to fend them off. It's funny, man. I completely agree with your analysis again on what's wrong with the Knicks, man, because I have it written down here. The Knicks have allowed the Pacers to control the pace, and this is no pun intended. I've said this a couple times. It's not to be funny. It just makes sense. Like, it is what it is. Like, they're running the score up, and that's the way the Pacers want to play. They want to play bucket for bucket, right? So, to your point, I think the Knicks, you have to strap up. You have to strap in defensively. You have to make that your calling card. The one struggle with the other point that you made, it's hard to make defense your calling card when your two best players can't play defense. So I don't know where the Knicks are going here. I think they do need to they need to make this a series. I think they need to make this a series for their future going forward to give them confidence. Because if you come out here and get gentlemen swept, how are you making this team better? You just gave the extension to OG. You gave the extension to Mikal Bridges after you traded 6 firsts for him. You traded for Cat. How do you make the team better? Maybe some more money opens up, but
yeah, I've been seeing some things about Josh Hart. Like a lot of New York Knicks fans are open to moving him now. Do I think that's fair?
See,
I don't know, because he's a role player, so
I would be all over Josh Hart as a Sixers fan, dog.
Yeah, I don't know what else do you want the man to do. It's not like he's supposed to go out there and give you 20 a night, 18 a night. Like, he's like your glue guy. He's like your Swiss Army knife. He kind of does everything. So
yeah.
And to your point about Mikal Bridges, I don't think that they extended him. I know that they traded a lot to get him, but I don't think they extended his contract.
They never extended him. Okay.
No, they didn't. So, yeah. OG, he just got paid. He makes a lot of money, so. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
to see what they do.
I think OG, arguably the most disappointing. I don't know. He's guarding, but Pascal's been cooking. So I don't even know that you can give him credit for that. Like,
do you think? I think it's slightly an overpay for OG though. That's a lot of money.
I do.
For his caliber. Like, he's a great defender, but
he's paid
like $40 million.
He's paid as an all-star. Like,
yeah, that's a lot of money, bro. $40 million, bro. Oh my god.
Marshall, what you talking about? I don't be fighting everybody, man.
Because Pascal Siakam had 30 points last night. So.
Yeah, 30 points. He maxed out last night. So I don't know if I can give him credit. And he's been shooting the 3-ball horribly in this series. So, yeah, I think OG for me has probably been the most disappointing on New York. Because at least with Hart, you are still going to get the rebounds. You're going to get the effort. Like, that's the one thing you will get from him. Right. But you look at the one win the Knicks had in this series, bro. It was the one time both teams scored under 110 in the series. So it very clearly shows you what they need to do to win games against this team. You need to strap up.
Right. And on top of that, Neesmith did go down in that game with an ankle injury. To be fair, he did go down late in the fourth quarter. So, yeah. It'd be interesting to see what the Knicks do this offseason to try to get better, but I don't know.
It will be interesting. They still have an opportunity tonight, man. They have an opportunity to extend the series tonight. Yeah, Martian, I feel you. I do feel you on that. Because for a while, as Sixers fans, we had our eyes on OG when he was in Toronto. He's on the trade block. He's a valuable piece. I just don't know what that contract the Knicks gave him. You need to come out with some hardware. That's the thing. And Brunson, he's 27 years old? He's not like SGA's 26. I'm not going to call Brunson old by any means, but it's not like he's at the beginning of his career. It's not like that.
I think also, if you think about it, I think more so paying OG was more so like if a Giannis become available, you can, match that.
You think that's what it is? Maybe. The only thing with that is if they traded 6 firsts for Mikal, they don't have any draft comp. There's no way. There's no way they have draft compensation.
It's just going to have to be players then. You can give up OG, Mitchell Robinson, Hart, probably keep Mikal. So Brunson, Cat, and Mikal and Giannis, that would be crazy.
But if you're Milwaukee, right?
Yeah, That's
Are
what I
you
was gonna
doing
say.
that?
I think other teams can get better packages in
Yeah,
draft picks and stuff. So
yeah, and do they want to bless New York? I don't know. I like if I was a Milwaukee fan, that would make me sick watching Giannis like go to New York and like win a ring. That would be disgusting. But when you look at this series, before we get into tonight's predictions, I did want to ask you a question about Hallie and Brunson again, because we talked about this before the series.
mm-hmm.
Tyrese Haliburton or Jalen Brunson, which one would you rather build your team around?
For my personal preference, probably Haliburton. He's more so like a pure playmaker. Brunson more so a score first type of guard. He can play make, but he's more so looking to get his buckets. And I'm gonna be
Yeah,
honest with you, bro. Like we're gonna have to start questioning Jalen Brunson play style too. Like, can it translate to winning? If I'm being honest here. Tyrese Haliburton, he's kind of shown that his play style can translate to win. Like they're one win away from going to the NBA Finals. Been to the
yeah.
conference finals in back-to-back years. So that there right there says it all. But I would definitely start my team, build my team around Haliburton than Brunson. So
Brunson is like he's like a very compact player, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean by that? Like he's a smaller guard. There's other smaller guards in the league, but he's a very compact player. He's not the fastest player. That's why he struggles on defense, foot speed, right? He has great footwork on offense, but foot speed is a different ball game. And I think to your point, man, getting played off the court, at this level, there's nowhere for you to hide Jalen Brunson defensively. He's gonna get attacked. If they made it to the finals against OKC, what is SGA, J-Dub, and company gonna do to this guy when they're running up and down the court?
We're gonna have a field day.
Yeah. So
we're gonna have a field day. And Candace Scotty said
Marshall going in.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. What's up with your boy Marshall, man? Surprised he ain't, because every time he join up here, I was got something to say about my do-rag, so I ain't got it on today. So what you got to say now?
You got the waves flowing today, Marshall.
Yeah.
Nah, I feel both of you though. I think I'm starting the team with Haliburton. I think he's a better team player. And quite frankly, he doesn't get played off the floor defensively. He's not the greatest defensive player, but he doesn't get played off the floor.
He's solid.
He's solid.
And he has Haliburton's like what, 6'4", 6'5"?
He's got length.
Yeah. Brunson is about 6'1", 6'2", so yeah.
Yeah, Martian. I had to go in on Twitter on that one because it's ridiculous what NBA conversations have turned into these days.
Yeah.
It's so interesting, man.
I'm gonna have to tap back into your arguments, bro, because I know you used to get into it with a lot of people on there. Because I used to hit you up. What's going on, bro?
I gotta chill. It's bringing like anxiety to my life. Like I just need to chill. I just need to press the chill button.
Yeah.
Tonight's matchup, bro. Knicks Pacers. Knicks 4.5-point favorites at home. Do you think this series gets extended?
No. No, I don't. Indiana gets it done tonight.
Man.
Yeah.
I do feel you. I
see. No, I know what it is. You want this to keep going on so you can keep watching hoops. I
do. But I don't think so, man. I want the Knicks to win. I want them to show that they have some dignity, some pride in the Garden tonight. All the Knicks fans, they don't have to go out and like kill anybody. Like just relax. We'll go to game 6. We'll be fine. We can have it end in Indiana. On Sunday, I guess it would be. Sunday in Indiana. But no, I do feel you, man. If they play up to Indiana's pace again, no pun intended, they will get ran out of the gym every single time that they want to play at that high pace, bucket for bucket. They're not good enough to beat Indiana like that. So better strap up in the Garden tonight.
Better do something, man. It's a lot of things.
Better do something. Let me ask you this to get us out of the show, man. Can either of these teams, very quickly, one yes or no answer, can either of these teams beat the Oklahoma City Thunder?
Yes.
Okay. We leave that for next week. Slim. But I do like your answer. Anything else before we get out of here, my brother?
So what about you? Yes or no? Yeah, you
I'm
thought you
trying
was
to
slick.
sneak out, dog.
Yeah, I know you thought you was slick though, bro. What's with this dude, bro? You're not finna leave me out there on the island like that.
I'm gonna go with no. I'm gonna go with no,
That's pretty
bro.
good.
I am. I'm gonna go with no. But we'll get into that next week. We'll have some time before the finals start, no matter what. They won't start until Thursday, no matter what. So we'll have some time next week to get our predictions out there and just take a sneak peek at the matchups, man, because it's gonna be good no matter what. That being said, Slim, I'll go ahead and get us out of here. Martian, giving you compliments on your waves. The chat has gone to the side. They've gone way off topic here.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Marshawn. I'm talking about Tiffany. You know this lady, Tiffany. Tiffany. But please don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Huh? What?
Tiffany. You know?
Oh
Tiffany?
no. No.
Oh, okay.
She just tapped in.
Oh, okay.
He said, "Get the strap." Chill.
Shout out
And
Marshawn.
Martian said, hell no, nobody's beating OKC. We'll see, man. We'll see.
So, you know.
All right, brother. I'm going to get us out of here.
Yes,
Everybody that is tuned in right now, please help us out if you haven't by now. Head over to the YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, turn the notifications on so you're notified each and every time we go live. We'll get you involved in the comment section just like we did with Martian, D-Rab, Tiffany, all of the above tonight. And we will continue to do that going forward. Give my man Slim a follow on X at RTR30111. You can find myself on X at Scotty Drown and the pod at To The Galaxy Pod. The pod is presented to you by DSM Media. DSM Media can be found at DSM_media. That's going to be it for this episode of NBA To The Galaxy podcast. Peace.